this is Jane Becker, and welcome to my office here at Keller Williams. I'm here to talk to you about buyer agency and why you might need it. You see, there are different kinds of real estate agents out there. There are people who represent the seller, called the listing agent. There are people who represent the buyer, called the buyer agent. There are people who do not represent any party, and those are called facilitators. There are also people who are dual agents. What a dual agent is when one agent or two agents in the same company represent both the buyer and the seller. In Massachusetts, in order for you to be able to do dual agency, you cannot represent the buyer or the seller while you're negotiating. And you just pass the papers like a facilitator would. And there's also called disclosed dual agent. I'm sorry, a designated agent. A designated agent is somebody who represents the buyer or seller in the transaction where the listing is with the same company. And the owner of the company or the legal responsible party designates the buyer agent to represent the buyer and the selling agent to represent the seller. So what that means to a consumer is you have options in Massachusetts. You can have somebody represent you or you can go unrepresented. Now, one of the things that you might want to find out is what party does the agent that you're talking to represents. So in Massachusetts, they have to show you what's called a disclosure form and explain who they represent. What does representation mean? Representation is as if you were to hire an attorney or you were talking to a doctor. That means that these professionals show some obligation to you, the client. This is where the difference between the customer and the client comes in. Somebody working for you and you being the client means that they have to show obedience to your lawful commands, confidentiality in things that they should not disclose to the other party, opposing party. Uh, they have to show disclosure. Basically, if they find a fact that is important for you to know, they need to disclose that fact to you. They also need to be accountable for your funds. So let's review: confidentiality, disclosure, loyalty. They are loyal to you because you hire them to represent you. Obedience, and accounting for funds. When you give a check to that agent is responsible to make sure that that money gets deposited into an escrow account and is protected. So in Massachusetts, you have options. If you're a seller, it would be a good idea to get somebody to represent your interests, such as a listing agent. If you're a buyer, it would make sense for you to get someone who would represent your interests as a buyer agent. So please stay tuned to more videos in explaining how real estate works.